I was, I went to AA meetings. I tried to do it, but the first time I tried to stop drinking, I started feeling sweaty and my stomach hurt and I was shaking all over and I thought I had the flu. I had no idea what withdrawal was. I didn't understand it because I'd never tried to stop drinking before. I was going through withdrawal and I didn't know.
How much were you drinking every day at that point?
Oh, I don't know how much. I mean, I was drinking a good bottle. I never was a beer drinker or a wine drinker. I mean, I was drinking scotch, a lot of it, a good bottle a day probably. I'd wake up in the morning with a drink. I had Glenlivet. I like Glenlivet a lot. I had a bottle right by my bed.
Right.
I mean, I kept the bottle and
so a bottle a day.
Yeah, about a bottle a day at the time. I was pretty young, but I kept a bottle by my bed, and I'd take a shot before I went to, not a shot, I'd take a big slug before I went to sleep or passed out, and as soon as I woke up, that was the first thing I drank before I had coffee. And I lived that way for a long time, for a couple of years. And I'd never tried to stop before, and it was terrible. So a lot of people got sober then. And they were mostly people who'd been doing freebase, mostly people who were doing a lot of coke. And it was this big group of people who were all living differently than I was. And that's when I felt out of it again. I felt like I was somebody who didn't belong again. That was a weird feeling for me at the time. And I spent from kind of late 88 to early 94, going in and out of AA, going in and out of relationships, going in and out of jobs. I watched my life slip away.
Right.
Over that time, watched everything get lost, and then I decided around 1990 that it was L.A. The business was killing me, so I left, came down to Newport, went back to my mother's house where I belonged,
right,
and